Nope, sorry.
How about is that any better? Okay. I myself stand here today before you as a simple man, one that believes in this formula of 1 + 1 = 3, and that I am as good as the best, but not better than the rest. I may look like Uncle Sam, but I'm not about taking all your tax money. My philosophy is if I can help you win, I win too. I've never ever had Twitter. I dumped Facebook at the end of 2020, and I stopped using Google as my search engine. And I evolved to this philosophy as I was mentored in my business career and told to work harder on myself than I do on my job, and to always ask the question, why? Part of that educational process led me to reading the 1832 eulogy of Charles Carroll, the last to die, the 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence. Some things I learned in reading it are, what does a patriot look like? I learned that the majority of the signers were born elsewhere. I learned that the average age was just 45 years old, with the Venerable Franklin at the age of 70 and Hopkins within just a few months of the same age. Sam Adams was 54, John Hancock was about 40, and John Adams was 40. Yet they grasped their quill pens to assert their country's independence with a heart that's so resolute and confident. Okay, try this one. Yeah, true basic, it's fine. Okay, we'll try this one to see if it's any better here. Okay, where I left off at. So, John Adams was 40, Thomas Jefferson was just 33. Yet they grasped their quill pens to assert their country's independence, and with a heart as resolute and confident and firm as the two of those 56 patriots that were under the age of 30. Yes, Rutledge and Lynch, both of South Carolina, were the tender age of only 27 when they signed the Declaration of Independence. What I found most fascinating, that even though many of these signers had been afforded the opportunity of a higher education, there were two of those 56 that were self-educated. One was a cobbler, one was a carpenter, Sherman and Walton. What was it took for these 56 to be patriots, you might wonder? What was having a heart for the cause and a mind that could be trained to follow through on that mission, and an understanding that their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor were all at risk. Charles Carroll of Maryland understood that and added his signature to it of Carrollton, so as not to be mixed up with any other Carrolls in Maryland at the time. The other thing I learned from Charles Carroll's 1832 eulogy is that unity is our country. This not only struck me in a massive way, so much that has led me to hold a monthly educational political meeting under the banner of Cobblers and Carpenters for Liberty. I encourage you to read my blog site, cobblersandcarpentersforliberty.com, or visit my social media group of the same name on www.ourfreedombook.com. In my monthly meetings, I generally discuss Article 5 of the Constitution. I thought can call a convention of states. Let's say we want to make it that everybody has to eat peanut butter or jelly sandwiches every Wednesday of every month. Well, we could do that if we get 33 other states to join us in that resolution. I don't think that'll happen, but if we can get enough people to join us, in the role of unity, if we can, through Convention of States, get 34 other states to join the Convention of States Action Program, then we can call a convention, all with the purpose of draining the swamp in D.C. by using the power already given to us in the Constitution under Article 5. Convention of States' whole platform is, number one, term limits for federal officials, reining in federal spending, and reining in federal overreach. And unity is the key to that, because without unity, how are we ever going to get 34 states all to agree on the same exact language and the same exact thing? So unity is a very important message here. Whether it be our group or many groups, Republicans, Democrats, whatever, we do have to find a way to work together and get past that. But once we're able to get 34 states to call the convention, and then it takes the simple majority of 26 votes to move it out of that convention to the rest of the states to vote on. Now here's the unique part of that. As the 26 states, every state only gets one vote. And if you wonder why a lot of Democrats and these different people don't want to do a convention of states, is because they think they should have more votes from these places like California and New York. versus, it's just one vote for each state. So each state gets one vote. They decide on what comes out of the convention in terms of reining in federal spending, reining in federal overreach, and term limits, and it goes to all 50 states, of which 38 states have to ratify it. Now Congress has to do the same thing. They have to get 38 states to ratify it, but you know what? You think they're ever going to vote themselves out of power or stop spending money? Heck no, they're not going to do that. So if we, the people of the states, go to our legislators and get them to take the reins, we currently have 19 states that have signed on the Convention of States platform. So with 19 states, we only need 15 more to go. Here we are in 2022 with a chance of 3 more states to maybe pass a resolution this year. That would get us to 22 and 22. You may see North Carolina, possibly Pennsylvania, possibly Ohio, all have good chances this year to pass that resolution. Mark Meckler, the head of Convention of States, is out helping to lobby in other states. Matter of fact, he'll be June 3rd in Prince Frederick, Maryland, down in the southern, on the western bank, down near the Chesapeake Bay, actually talking about Convention of States. So if anybody's from that area or has the opportunity to go down there on June 3rd, it's a Friday night, about 5:30, he'll be speaking at the Old Tobacco Barn down there and really helping everybody learn about it. So why is this so important? Why is this unity so important? Well, we all realize that there's a lot of things being taken for granted in America. We were given 7,000 words in the original Constitution, Declaration of Independence initially, and then there was a total of 7,000 words we were being managed by. Now we're being managed by 1.4 million words. So when this movement, and Santa saying we need to go back to 1776, basically he's saying we need to trim this Constitution back down to something we can manage, because each of you right now are committing 3 felonies a day and you just don't even know it because there's so many laws on the books that nobody's even aware of. So by all means, get in there and sign the convention sign the petition for Convention of States. Now the convention's never been held. It's been called many times, but it's never been held. You and I can have a Convention of States right now for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches if we want to do it, but we got to get all the other states to do it. So the group that went in, I think there's a different group that's Friends of Article 5, I think is who was pushing what I wrote on last week, but trying to go back on.
If they had 38 states, that's support.
They are trying to take every petition called for from every state, no matter what they are, and ask those to all be considered. And that's where the Convention of States Action Program that was formed by Mark Meckler. Every single state has passed the same exact resolution, so that the language is exactly perfectly the same for all 19 states so far. And when we get to 34, it'll be be undeniable in terms of what the request is. So that's what the goal is.
I appreciate that, because I guess what I got was fake news.
Well, again, anybody can call a convention of states, but it's getting 38 other states to do it, so it can be managed all the way through the process. That's what Convention of States Action is all about. Now, if you haven't went, of course, to Convention of States Action or conventionofstates.com and signed the petition, please do so. There are 19 states that's done exactly what we asked them to do, and they all have term limits, reining in federal spending, and reining in federal overreach as their platform. And that's the key to making this all work. And if we can get 3 more this year, that's even better. Now, when we go look at all the missions that's going on out there, whether it be the 1776 movement, whether it be what the truckers convoy before, or whether it be the American Freedom Convoy, all of us are out there trying to be the tip of the spear to make a dent, to bust that bubble of DC swampland. And it's going to take a lot of fracasses along the county patriot parents that's up there lobbying for a lot of things, fighting the school system. There's many different programs that are on the front line, but don't forget, keep your eye on the ball. What's already built in the Constitution is Article 5. It was given to us to be able to fight the tyranny that our founders knew would be placed upon us at some point in our future, to be able to save us from ourselves. That's really the crux and the cruel reality of it. We have to fight many small skirmishes, sneak up on them like the Indians did and attack them. Well, the Minutemen had the right idea, and that's what a lot of these groups today are, the Minutemen that's out there causing the skirmishes, the fracases, and diverting the attention, so that the big prize is Article 5 to be able to get us there. Well, we need somebody out there. Kevin alluded to Bunker Hill there at the beginning of his songs, and that's the point. Remember, we lost at Bunker Hill, but what the British learned was that we wouldn't give in, we wouldn't give up, we would stand and fight. That's what they learned about the fight at Bunker Hill. And here we are in Bunker Hill again today. So now I'm going to leave you with some paraphrased words from Ma Joke from The Grapes of Wrath. And do y'all see that movie, The Grapes of Wrath, way back when? Old black and white movie. They're riding down the road, an old Model TA, something like that, and they're talking, and the son's driving, and the pa's sitting there, and they're just reminiscing, and she says, to the paraphrase words are, we are the people. We keep it coming, and they can't wipe us out, and they can't lick us because it all starts with us. It all starts with our representatives. And it all starts with us standing up and saying, no, I won't take it anymore, and doing it in a peaceful, proper way. Article 5 is the way that can solve the problems of the country. This mission, this group, is all about that, by simply getting us back to thinking about a smaller, trimmed down way that we're being managed, but not with 1 versus the original 7,000. We got the roadmap. We managed this country for a long time on a very skinny set of rules. The morality that Santa talks about, getting back to a God-given rights kind of country, and just enforcing what we know is the right thing to do. And that's what I plead all of you do today. Support this movement, support other movements, run for local offices. All politics is local, and if it's not right in your neighborhood, it ain't going to get better unless somebody does something about it. Stand up, make your voice heard, and you too can call yourself a patriot, because you have a heart for the cause and a mind that can be so instructive to follow through on the mission. All right. God bless America. Thank you for your time.